banking, banking has been quite the process, and there's lot of documentation that you need to do for that bank. Can you talk
Right.
to us about that a little bit?
Well, once you get that 1-year visa, some banks won't even touch you with that, but many of them will. And you just get a savings on both of them. No checking, no other ones, just simple savings.
Is there some bank that you recommend that would?
I was, just getting to that, thank you. For example, BDO, they only have one of their banks in all the Philippines that the government will recognize and accept. And when you finally get your permanent visa, you will have to be able to get it's a letter of introduction, so that you can go to the bank and deposit. 'Cause last time I kind of finished on the money you have to deposit and not touch, because like me, I have to do 1,500. That's it, but I can't touch it. But if you're not a VA, it's going to cost you 10,000. Just put in a deposit and you don't do anything. But you need that letter of documentation. But the first time here, we can get you set up. But BPI, which is the Bank of the Philippine Islands, or Security Bank, there are others you can get, the China Bank, and they're everywhere, and they'll accept it. But I find that I chose BPI, but you can also do Security. They're very friendly, and they will open up accounts with you, and you can go to wherever you're deciding to buy a home. You can go to the banks that are closest to you and open up there, and friendly. Now, the nice thing when you get the banking, once you get over 1 million pesos, and I know that sounds like a lot, but it really isn't when you do the conversion. But then you get what's called a preferred customer. So there's a different kiosk you would go to get a number, to see someone for help. So it speeds that process up. Now, in order to do all this, you're going to have IDs. So you're going to have the Visa ID, you need your passport. But also, I recommend when you get documents, you get 2 originals of everything. Like if you're in the military, there's a DD-214, and there's also a DD-215 and another DD-1, and they show, like, DD-214s will show the time you were in, and if you retire. A 15 is if they've made a mistake on it, they can correct it. Or if, like my case, they decided several years after I was out to award me a couple of different medals, well, that would go on that one. But you really don't need to use that one, because all that's going to do is confuse them. So only use the DD-214. Forget about the others. Don't even mention them. And you want to get 2 sets or 3 sets. Now, you're going to have a birth certificate. Buy 2 or 3, because they're going to want originals, but if they lose it, you will have another one. Because with me, some of the documentation got lost. So it took me a lot of time to get the originals. You need the proof that you're retiring if you're going to retire. If you're going to work, then that's a different visa, but you're still going to have to get that permanent working kind of a, when I say permanent, it's not real permanent, it's like for 1 year. But you need the proof of your income, like Social Security, you need a letter from them that says, yes, they are now collecting, they've retired, and they're getting a monthly payment. They can state how much on there or not. But you're gonna need a certain amount. If you're getting it with the military, you have to have an income of, I think, $1,800 a month. If you're gonna go the other one, you need to have a showing income of, I think it's $3,500 a month. Working is a different story. I can't really comment because I'm not gonna work. I've already paid my dues. I'm retired here to have fun. So the documentation, get letters from the VA. If there's any kind of unusual thing, get letters from the VA. If you get money from them, get yourself 3 original copies from them. You can get it here, but then it takes time and a whole lot of frustration.
Does that speed up the process?
It will speed up a lot, but it'll show how much you make, because you gotta prove that you make. So I always ask Social Security to put the price on there. Depends on who you see, whether they will or will not. Mine, they refuse to do it because I got it here. If I'd have got it in the States, they would have put the amount on there and then I'd have qualified with that. So we're getting close to the time, but any documentation or proof of income or any other personal stuff, you need to get at least 2, I recommend 3 originals of everything. Thanks for the time. I'll talk to you about the steps next.